Hey, BookTube, welcome back to the History Shelf. My name is Peg. So glad you could join me today as we go over new military history releases for August 2026. I do these monthly videos where I kind of round up all the new history that is dropping this month and the books that have been sent to me by publishers and whatnot. Some of them I review for publications, others are just gratis copies, and I just thought this might be a way to every month just kind of tune you into some of the new history out there that I think is really, really interesting and that you might find interesting as well. So I hope you're enjoying these monthly roundups. And so for August 2026, some of these books have already published in the first 2 weeks of this month. Some have not yet published, but I will tell you as we go along. And as a bonus, because I don't have a ton of August titles, but I do have some that were from July that did not make it into last month's video. So I wanted to make sure that you saw those because we got some really interesting stuff here, history and nonfiction related. And one of them is really intriguing as far as like history of medicine goes, and it kind of ties into the book I read with Patrice Jones on a buddy read about the injuries in World War I and how the injuries, but also learning about advances in medical science. It kind of reminds me of that book I read. So I'm really excited about this one. So anyway, you're going to have a little bit of a mix. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to start with the August because that's what, if you clicked on this, you want to know what's out right now or coming very soon. And by the end of the video, then we'll move into some of the July stragglers that just kind of, plotted into the corral after I did my last month's video. So, all right, guys, how you doing out there? We've got a thunderstorm here, a very gentle thunderstorm with soft rain. Still kind of sticky and muggy here in Colorado, but it's nice to see the rain, and I'm really happy about that. And happy Friday, by the way. All right, let's get into it. But I feel like I know you guys. I'm so excited to tell you that I wrapped up another author interview today, and I'll be posting that this weekend for a book I've recently finished, and the author was very eager to come on the program. So stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when that interview drops. I hope you're enjoying the author interviews. I'm really working hard to get a robust lineup of books that I have found really intriguing and that I think a broader audience would enjoy as well. So please do let me know in the comments if you watch any of my author interviews. What could I do better? What type of interviews would you like to see? Give me suggestions. I'm open to it. It's really been a focus of mine, has been just upping my interviewing game. I really enjoy conversing with people. It's hard when you're just doing this just talking to myself here, looking into this camera. I love seeing another face. I love seeing reactions, and I just love the dialogue. So of course, having said that, I love making videos for you guys. I love the fact that you love these videos where you just get to see new history book after new history book, and you get like me, you nerd out on it, right? You just nerd out on it. All right, so let's get our nerd hats on, and let's just hop into the stack of August releases. Okay, first up. All right, this is a publisher I don't normally get books from, but I'm really intrigued by this book. This is from Spiegel and Grau, which sounds very much like a German publisher. This book came out on earlier this week. I'm looking at my calendar off camera, and I'm trying to lean backwards so I'm a little bit more relaxed, but I got to get my camera to focus on me. It's just okay, I guess. All right, it came out on August 11th from Spiegel and Grau. And this is Lessons from a Lost Republic, by Michelle Barenfeld. It's a slim little hardcover, as you can see. All right, we'll get that little glare going on there. All right, I'm going to read from the pub sheet here. All right. Oh, and the subtitle it has an asterisk at the bottom. I should have said that. So, Lessons from a Lost Republic. And then down at the bottom, it says, what ancient Rome can teach us about this American moment. All right. A recent TikTok meme revealed that many American men think about ancient Rome constantly. Yeah, this was a thing going around, what, like last year or a couple of years ago? Tech bros and manosphere pundits wax on about Augustus and Julius Caesar, gladiators and the might of the Roman Empire. But they're missing the point. Augustus, the first emperor, is the man who effectively ended 500 years of representative government, turning the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. The slide was quick. Many Romans watched their republic crumble over the course of their own lifetimes, but it was permanent, and the path that led to autocracy will sound unsettlingly familiar to us today. Now, as America marks its 250th year and heads into the 2026 midterms, Rome Prize winner and John A. McCarthy Professor of Classics at Pitzer College, Michelle Barenfeld delivers the pocket history this moment demands. Oh, I see. Okay, this grew from an article she wrote in The Atlantic. I subscribe to The Atlantic. Let's see when she wrote it. Let's see here. So, Lessons from a Lost Republic grew from her viral Atlantic essay, The Roman Way to Trash a Republic, and expands it into a lively, compact, and genuinely urgent book for readers of Timothy Snyder and Anne Applebaum, both fantastic writers and historians I urge you to check out, that reveals how the Roman Republic was undone by forces that sound alarmingly familiar, such as, and they go down a bullet list, wealth and power concentrated in the hands of the elite, check. I'm adding the check. That's my editorialization here. Rampant political violence, check. Endless expansionist wars, check. And if you're about to argue, wait a minute. Didn't we say we were going to take over Greenland? And now we might be taking over Cuba. And then now we're over in, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Leaders who ruled by equivalent of executive order, check. And a Senate that normalized emergency measures until it had nothing left to protect, check. Oh, this is great. The chapter titles alone tell the story. Oh, this is going to be a fun, infuriating little read. The chapter titles are, here's just a sample. First Blood, or That Time They Stormed the Capitol. Boom, psh. But it's not funny. It's an emergency, or That Time They Brought the Military into the city. I'm telling you, it's all right here in front of you if you just want to pay attention to it. Next chapter title, These People Are Terrorists, or That Time They Decided to Hell with Due Process. Next chapter title, The First Triumvirate, or When a Few Very Rich Men Got Together to Back Their Candidates and Manipulate the Government. Oh, and of course, one of the other chapter titles is Making Rome Great Again. The Founding Fathers knew Rome's history well and saw it as a cautionary tale. They named our legislature the Senate, built a capital, and feared Augustus rather than celebrated him. They designed a constitution so that we might avoid the Roman Republic's fate. Barenfeld's book is an urgent call to remember why the Founding Fathers designed a system of government that put a check on executive power. As Barenfeld notes, Rome's slide into autocracy was not inevitable, and neither is ours. All right, this is going to be a fantastic little read. It's about a little over 200 pages. You can read that in a couple days, few days. I'm going to enjoy this one. This one's going on the bedside table. So great. That's a wonderful first book to start with. Oh, yes. And I got really excited in last month's military history release roundup. I think I teased this one at the end. I was going to show it to you because I thought it was in July, but no. This book also published on Tuesday of this week. Came out August 11th. Oh, I can't wait for this, and I do hope I get a finished copy. You ready? And if I do, of course, I will do a giveaway for this. For this. Oh, I already did it. I already showed you. It's Hannah Arendt, A Life of the Mind by Thomas Meyer, translated by Shelley Frisch. This is put out by Penguin Press. This is I guess it's the galley. So, but I'm believing that will be the cover. Let's see if I have a pub sheet. I do. All right. I'm going to go over here with this one. Okay, now we're going to go that. It's a big book. It's about, says it's going to be 560 pages. I'm trying to avoid that glare. Okay. Drawing on newly discovered archival materials and previously overlooked documents from both Germany, where Hannah Arendt was born to a Jewish family in 1906, and the US, where she was a citizen from 1950, Thomas Meyer tells the story of an intellectual icon whose character and ideas continue to captivate and challenge us to this day. Tracing anew Arendt's journey from Königsberg to Paris, where she fled after being imprisoned in 1933, and finally to New York in 1941, Meyer illuminates her formative years and the development of her radical and brilliant books, as well as her lifelong philosophical debate with Martin Heidegger, whose Nazism was a permanent challenge for her. I mean, that would be a challenge for anyone, right? Meyer's account centers on two pivotal phases: Arendt's years in Paris after fleeing Nazi Germany, and her time in the US leading up to the landmark publication of The Origins of Totalitarianism in 1955, providing not only meticulous reconstruction of her life, but also a compelling invitation to rethink her legacy for our times. At a time of acute political polarization, with liberalism in crisis and urgent debates about freedom, responsibility, and truth unfolding all around, Arendt's writings and ideas resonate more powerfully than ever. Meyer's account of her extraordinary life is groundbreaking and sensational, not just for his illuminating and peerless research, but also for his incisive exploration of what Arendt's work has meant over the decades and continues to mean for us today. Oh, fantastic. All right. So this is available now from Penguin Press, and I've got several books on Hannah Arendt. I've read her. I read her. Oh my God, I'm blanking on it. It's just like one of her most famous essays ever. Eichmann in Jerusalem. Thank you. I also have her Origins of Totalitarianism. I should do I'm always getting new ideas for videos, and sometimes I jot them down in this is my handy planning notebook, in case anyone's interested in how PEG works. I think I will write down that maybe I should do a Hannah Arendt feature. I've got lots of stuff going on in here, lots of stuff. So, all right. I'll remember that. Okay, I won't write that down now since you're waiting for me. I mentioned this book before, and I still need to finish it because it just didn't work out timing-wise for me to get the review into Shelf Awareness. But it did grab me, and I want to jump back into it. This book also published, it came out on the 4th. August 4th, but I mentioned this before in another video. This is Cicero's Tongue, The Life of Rome's Greatest Orator and the End of the Republic by Catherine Edwards. So it's a brand new biography. I have read the back of this before, so I'll kind of just keep it brief on this one. I'm trying to find time in my schedule to go back and finish some backlist items. And even though this is like, it just came out, but for me, it's a backlist because I am already reading ahead for books for review, books that are coming out in November and beyond. So, but I do want to finish this, and I can't say what I've been reading so far. I've been really grabbed by. It's good writing. It's good history narrative. And this is from St. Martin's Press, in case I haven't mentioned it. And the book is about 464 pages. Extensive notes. We've got a glossary, key characters, all that good stuff. I would love a finished copy just so I could have the bibliography. Just for the sources alone would be magnificent. But wanted to make you aware that this is available now. Oh, and then publisher reached out to me about this book. I hadn't known about it. And this is actually going to be coming out later this month, August 25th, from Harper Horizon Books. A good kind of juicy World War II history thriller type deal. Let me see here. This is a note. I'm just trying to make sure I'm going to be reading you. Oh, let me just show it to you first. This is Ortiz's War. The remarkable true story of OSS saboteur Peter J. Ortiz. And this is by Nicholas Reynolds and Katie S. Sanders. And again, this is coming out later. Look at his eyes. What a handsome man. Handsome man. We love beauty. Who doesn't? It says here about Ortiz's War. I'm going to read it from the pub sheet, so you can just keep looking and being mesmerized by this gentleman's eyes. Ooh. Look at that little Errol Flynn mustache he's got going on. Okay, I'm being superficial. Behind enemy lines in wartime France, American Marine Peter Ortiz blew up Nazi rail yards. I can say this. Peter Ortiz blew up Nazi rail yards, kept one step ahead of Hitler's ruthless Gestapo, and braved frigid mountain trails to shuttle downed Allied airmen to safety. Ortiz emerged from World War II with more combat medals than any other member of America's first spy agency, the OSS. After the war, he went to Hollywood, right? Not surprised. Working with John Ford and John Wayne and appearing in more than 24 films. Well, that explains it. I don't know if I've ever seen him. At times donning his military uniform. His own life story could rival any of them. Okay, so that's a very brief description. I wonder, I'm going to have to ask Martine if she's a big classic movie fan. And we're talking 20s, 30s, 40s. I wonder if she's aware of this guy. Let's see what I'm sure he'll tell us what movies he starred in, but let me just give you a little bit more background from the back of this book. Peter Ortiz's path to becoming the most battle-decorated member of America's first spy agency and one of the most decorated Marines of World War II was unlike any other. Born in New York and raised between California and France, he would have stints as a merchant seaman, dude ranch manager, race car driver, lion tamer, circus performer, and Hollywood stuntman and actor. As a teenager, Ortiz ran away from boarding school in France to join the French Foreign Legion. He first experienced combat in North Africa against tribesmen in the Sahara. Fighting on the front lines against the Germans in 1940, he was badly wounded and captured. He repeatedly escaped, one time fleeing a hospital train after assuming the identity of a dead soldier. Wow. Docking in the U.S. the day after Pearl Harbor, Ortiz enlisted in the Marine Corps. As someone who could speak French like a native and get by in Arabic, German, and Spanish, the dashing former Legionnaire immediately stood out. Ortiz was recruited by the Office of Strategic Services, that's the OSS, which was the forerunner to the CIA, for special operations. And then it just goes into all of his daring deeds of daring do. This sounds like it's going to be a fun read, guys. Let's see, we got some pictures of him in here. Yeah. Let's see, we got a bibliography, about 200 and this is a little less than 250 pages, but looks like a good read. Coming to you later this month from Harper Horizon. Handsome, handsome man. Okay. I'm gonna keep my whistle wet. All right. Here's a big release. We've all heard of this name. History fans out there. At least, well, people who like to read the history of our Constitution, just the early forming of the country in its philosophy of freedom and democracy. This is from Jill Lepore. Jill Lepore she's the author of We Hold These Truths, right? Or These Truths. And then her most recent one was We the People. A History of the U.S. Constitution. Well, she's got a new book coming out, you guys. And it's coming out August. Oh, they didn't give me the date on here. It just says August. It's not a doorstopper this time around. It's a little over 200 pages. But this one is called The Rise and Fall of the Artificial State. Yeah. Again, no date right now on when it's releasing. But let me see if I can find the blurb for you here. Oh. All right. I'll read to you from the front of the book, from the letter from the editor here. Dear reviewer, few books. Well, I don't want to read that. This is like, okay. Let's go on to the second paragraph. Building on an essay in the New Yorker in 2024, Lepore's clarion call traces our increasing dependence on and strangulation by data. Political campaigns, awash in an avalanche of fake bots, have been reduced to attention mining algorithms, while multinational media corporations dictate public discourse. And the era of the liberal nation state seems to be coming to a rapid end, replaced by billionaire technocrats reliant on autocracy and the tools of AI. With Orwellian overtones, The Rise and Fall of the Artificial State demonstrates how technology has corroded global democracy, leading to the destruction of both human community and capacity for self-government, creating a new form of AI government, a digital citizens' assembly, where AI will recommend the course of action to humans in place of human-run legislatures. This is terrifying. This is going to keep me up at night. Especially sobering with this proliferation of dizzying, ever-changing schemes, prophecies, and predictions is that the artificial state has come at the expense of the natural world, leading to catastrophic loss of wildlife habitat and biodiversity. Deliberately alarming, the rise and fall of the artificial state, despite its abundance of dire facts, is not a funeral dirge. Are you sure? Rather, it's an inspiring wake-up call written in Lepore's typically elegiac prose, which demonstrates that nothing about the artificial state was inevitable, for it is a, quote, government without consent, even government without humans, end quote. All right. This is going to be something else. We're living in a brave, scary new world. That's all I can say, folks. So if you're a big fan of Jill Lepore, I think you're going to want to add this to your to buy or to read list, The Rise and Fall of the Artificial State, coming out this month. I don't have the exact date, but now you know. Oh, God, there's a lot of politics in this stack. Well, this one is sure to, this one's sure to be controversial too, but this one has already come out from Atria Books. Came out August 11th, and this is Israel's Lobby, America in the Grip of a Foreign Power by Eric Clifton and Ian Lustig. So got a little galley here that I can read from, unless they gave me the pub sheet. Not in here. Okay. The greatest story in geopolitics and in American domestic affairs is how the far-right government of a small Middle Eastern country came to hold a controlling interest in United States foreign policy. Israel's lobby is now in a position to police the speech of American politicians, college students, and journalists, and coerce and persuade the White House to back unpopular, costly, and ultimately national security-threatening policies and wars. From the Biden administration's unwillingness to bring American leverage to bear, this isn't, someone didn't write the copy on the back correctly. So let me see here. From the Biden administration's unwillingness to bring American leverage to bear and bring an end to genocidal violence that only harmed our national security interests, to the Trump administration's role in lifting the parole restrictions on a spy who had sold vital government secrets, American subservience to its putative client state, Israel, is a vivid and vexing example of the tail wagging the dog. In Israel's Lobby, Eli Clifton and Ian Lustig explain how shifts in global politics, Israel's lurch to the extreme right, and the evisceration of American campaign finance laws make the influence of Israel's lobby more costly and more dangerous today than it ever was before. Why the lobby launched an anti-Semitism witch hunt to suppress opponents rather than attempt to defend Israel's policy, and how the lobby not only distorts American policy but helps make Israel a, quote, crazy, end quote, state. Israel's lobby follows the money and lifts the veil on a seemingly unassailable feature of American politics, importantly detailing how we can unite around traditional American values. What does that mean, traditional American values? Because that has really, that whole thing, that little cliche, that little bromide, means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So yeah, how we can unite around those values and the importance of substantive debate to resist Israel first vigilantism. Wow, that's some aggressive language. So that'll be interesting, but it's timely, that's for certain. All right, so that is out now from Atria Books. All right, guys, I think, and of course, I might have some August ones that linger into my September monthly roundup. But this is my last that I have right now of August galleys. And then I'll go into some of the July stragglers. Okay, so are you still with me? Still with me? Okay, great. All right, so this book, again, do we have a date? Lots of politics. And I'm not surprised, right? Because of the midterms coming up and everyone's kind of pushing these books out at the end of the summer. All right. This is from W.W. Norton. You'll have to look up. It could be available now, or it could be really, really soon. But anyway, we've got No Prophets, The Fight to Save Democracy from Christian Nationalism by Jared Huffman. All right. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, this guy is a congressman. Normally, I don't read books by sitting politicians. Ask me why. But hey, I got sent this book, and the topic of Christian nationalism is of interest to me. It is a concern to me. Okay, so let's just see what Huffman here has got to say. From Congressman Jared Huffman, a behind-the-scenes look at the shocking extent of Christian nationalism's reach in our government and the fight to defend church-state separation. Sinclair Lewis is said to have predicted, quote, "When fascism comes to America, it will be wrapped in the flag and carrying the cross," end quote. Democratic Congressman Jared Huffman witnessed something eerily like that vision on January 6, 2021. That was his wake-up call to the shocking power of Christian nationalism. No Prophets argues that Christian nationalism is now America's most dangerous political movement. Huffman uncovers the landscape of this movement, who they are, what they want, and how they plan to get it, and reveals how it has destabilized our nation more than most recognize. Blending deep research with untold stories from inside our government, he examines how this violent confederation of religious extremists is undermining science, education, foreign policy, and the very architecture of our democracy. But Hoffman argues it's not too late. That's what they all say. It's not too late. Provocative and clear-eyed, No Prophets exposes an existential threat to our democracy and compels us to reclaim the values core to our secular republic. Okay, so from W.W. Norton. This could be another interesting read if you're kind of on that kick, kind of, researching or studying the unfortunate phenomenon of Christian nationalism right now. And I'm saying that as a Christian. Don't like it, don't want it. Because it's not of Jesus, baby. Not supposed to reign in this world, baby. You're not. You're not, Blanche, you're not. I'm sorry, that was An old movie reference. All right, now we've got some stragglers. I think most of these are from July. Oh, and one is actually coming out on September 1st. I guess I should hold it for the September. Let's just see how long we run. Okay, so I was telling you about a book on medicine. This just looks so interesting. This is from Amplify Publishing. This is available now. And this is Blood Poison, The Untold Story of Sepsis by Parsha Shahanpour, MD. My copy got ripped when they sent it, but that's okay. I'm going to put some tape on there. We'll get it all squared away. It's still a fantastic hardcover. I'm happy to have it and dive into this. So let's see what we have here on the book jacket. A frontline doctor's sweeping, deeply researched, and intimately written chronicle of the centuries-long effort to understand and effectively treat sepsis, one of history's most lethal, misunderstood maladies and the leading cause of death for children worldwide. When presented with a patient with a severe infection, there was one question that everyone must ask themselves: could it be sepsis? Since the earliest days of medicine, sepsis has been one of its most confounding and dangerous conditions, first emerging in its modern understanding from the trenches of pre-antibiotic battlefields like World War I, I was telling you about earlier. First emerging in those battlefields as blood poisoning, aka septicemia, but evolving to be understood as an elusive syndrome in which the body's immune response spirals out of control with immediate and deadly consequences. In the tradition of sweeping medical narratives like The Emperor of All Maladies and The Great Influenza, Blood Poison traces the history of sepsis from its origins in ancient civilization in the poetry of Homer and the theories of Hippocrates to its establishment in the modern age as the scourge of emergency rooms and hospital wards that is responsible for 1 in 5 deaths each year around the world. With riveting patient stories, insights from top experts, and moving firsthand accounts of his work as a doctor, advocate, and a leader in the field, Parsha Shahanpour brings readers inside the fight to raise awareness about new and effective ways to fight an insidious illness, which, due to the rise of drug-resistant superbugs, viral pandemics, and an ailing healthcare system, is only getting more dangerous. My goodness. So much good news in this book. Yeah, this is looking good. And this is our author. Now and then I get interested in something that's kind of like it's history, but it's like more medical history. I'm very intrigued by this though. Having read books about the advances in medicine during World War I, where it did talk about septicemia and sepsis. Anyway, Blood Poison, The Untold Story of Sepsis. This is available now, you guys, from Amplify Books. All right. A couple more I wanted to show to you real quick. This book came out in July. They sent me a galley, but it was a bound galley and it fell apart. So I couldn't even read the galley because all the pages went fluttering everywhere. But they were kind enough to send me a finished copy of, something I love reading about. I love this kind of stuff. All right. There's been a couple books about Trotsky lately and his death, but this was a different one. I have the other one that came out earlier in the spring. God, was it, who wrote it? Was it Anthony Beevor? I think he did one on Rasputin. Anyway, new book on Trotsky's assassination, which is called, logically enough, The Assassination of Leon Trotsky, Espionage Scandal and the Crime of the Century by H. Keith Melton and Nigel West. This is from Hanover Square Press. This is the finished hardcover. This is available right now. If you've ever been interested in what happened to Trotsky, and I always have been, just being a big, huge lover of and I don't know why, I don't have the reasons why. I've always been intrigued with Russian history, also Soviet Union history. Okay, so it's the blurb in the inside of the jacket says, "From two of the world's leading intelligence and espionage historians comes the definitive and most unsettling account of the assassination of Leon Trotsky." I mean, that's good writing right there. That's good blurb writing right there. The most unsettling? It's like, why? Why? Why is it unsettling? Tell me. Exiled from the Soviet Union and living under constant threat, Leon Trotsky believed that by 1937 he had found sanctuary in Mexico City. What he did not see was the vast clandestine machinery Stalin had already set in motion, one that went beyond Europe and crucially into the United States itself. Drawing on newly uncovered evidence, this book reveals the previously untold role that was played by Stalin's agents operating in America, who helped make the assassination possible. At the center of the plot stood Ramon Mercader, a disciplined Soviet assassin using multiple false identities. Guided by his formidable mother, Caridad Mercader, he avoided overt violence in favor of patience, manipulation, and emotional infiltration. His most powerful weapon was not the ice axe he ultimately wielded, but trust, carefully cultivated through friendships, sympathies, and a romantic relationship with Sylvia Agaloff, a Brooklyn-born social worker whose true role in the assassination is reassessed here with startling clarity. Okay, so that must be like where some of the new stuff comes in. Based on unprecedented access to classified documents in Mexico, the US, and Russia, as well as unpublished correspondence from Trotsky's personal guards, H. Keith Melton and Nigel West exposed the fatal blind spots in Trotsky's own security and thinking. His lifelong faith and personal loyalty, his dismissal of internal betrayal, and a measure of revolutionary hubris proved decisive in the final hours of his life. More than merely the story of how Leon Trotsky was murdered, this is a sweeping history of espionage, ideology, love, betrayal, and fatal miscalculation. It is the complete, never-before-told account of an assassination that changed the course of modern history. I think the size alone would tell you that they're really invested in that. I'm going to have to compare this with the other book that was about Leon Trotsky's murder. I got to look that up. And I kind of want to like do a comparison. This book's got a lot of, it's focusing a lot on the ice axe. So I wonder if that's going to be like part of the unsettlingness, like if they're going to analyze, like if they're going to say anything new, like, because there's a lot of pictures of ice axes in here. Oh, I see. They're really showing you everything here. There's blood on the ice axe. They're like saying here, a blood rust pattern of a fingerprint is visible on the right side of the ice axe. I mean, they're going into it. Yeah, this is a full-on investigation here. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Look at this. Doctors there are autopsying Trotsky's brain. Okay, sorry. I should have given you a warning. Sorry about that. So this looks great. This is beefy. This is about 456 pages. And they're saying this is the definitive account based on just previously unavailable evidence and documentation. So sign me up for that. But yeah, I know a lot of you out there are also into like Russian history, and I thought you'd really like to know about that book. Speaking of communism, I first saw this book on Bill Rutenberg's channel, and I said to myself, Bill, I need to get me a copy of this book. This is from Reaction Books, or Reactian Books, a UK publisher, and that is Mao, Power and Contradiction by Carrie Brown. So thank you, Bill, for alerting me to this book, and I know you were reading it or about to read it, so I'll have to see what he thinks about it. Mao Zedong lived one of the most epic and influential lives of the 20th century. His impact on the country he brought into existence, the People's Republic of China, was vast and lasted almost 3 decades until his death in 1976. Half a century after his passing, he remains a divisive and controversial figure. This book provides an accessible narrative of Mao's life from the fall of the Qing in the early part of the 20th century to the long years in which he struggled to ensure the Communist Party of China survived, and then that it came to power after a civil war with the ruling nationalists. Mao's tragic failures once in power were some of the worst to ever befall a modern society, while his personal life remains a source of intense interest and debate. Clear-eyed and nonpartisan, this is the first biography of Mao to appear in English for some time, making accessible the latest research on one of the most consequential lives of the 20th century. This is the first biography of Mao to appear in English for some time. Okay. I mean, I'm thinking of that really big biography, Mao, The Untold Story. And I'm pretty sure that one was written in English. But that might have been, when they say for some time, I mean, that could have been 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So that, yeah, that might be it. Okay. But yeah, so I guess I'm still trying to decide because I've seen a lot of books with Mao lately. But I guess some of the books I've seen kind of tie it into other things. But this is supposed to be just a straight up biography. So, okay, we'll take it at face value. It's about 240 pages. Like I said, I read that big epic biography on Mao a while ago. This wouldn't hurt just to kind of dip back in and get another take with more recent documentary evidence coming into play. So yeah, if you're interested, this is out now from Reaction Books. And yeah, let me know what you think. 41 minutes. Okay. I'm going to save these two for another time. I'm going to kind of group some of these books. All right. So here's a book I actually reviewed. It's going to be showing up real soon in Shelf Awareness. This book is coming out September 1st. But I'm going to include it here. And I'll probably throw it in again and mention it in my September roundup. But this is now the second book by this historian that I have read and written a review for. This is Timothy W. Ryback's new book, 53 Days, How Hitler Dismantled a Democracy. And this is from Grove Atlantic. It's actually Atlantic Monthly Press, but that is a Grove Atlantic imprint. Yeah, the last book that Timothy Ryback wrote, I just loved it. It's fantastic. So much so that I wanted the finished copy as a book I want to keep on my shelves as something to go to. That book was called Takeover, Hitler's Final Rise to Power. This is our author. So yeah, this is coming out September 1st. I'm really happy to have gotten I read it for review in the galley, in the print arc. But he writes so energetically and urgently. It's almost like you're reading like a thriller. And this book was chilling. Anyway, on September 25th, 1930, Adolf Hitler appeared before Germany's Supreme Court and outlined his plans to destroy the Weimar Republic by democratic process. The judge asked, quote, "So, only through constitutional means?" End quote. Hitler replied, "Jawohl," or "Jawohl." Sorry. "Jawohl," meaning yes, or absolutely, or something like that. Barely 2 years later, on January 30th, 1933, Hitler was appointed the 15th Chancellor of the Weimar Republic. Within 53 days of that date, he had effected one of the most astonishing transformations in modern democracy, using the provisions of the Constitution to turn a democratic republic into an authoritarian state. Drawing from his 800-page political playbook, Mein Kampf, Hitler banned or neutered the print press and radio, purged the civil service, and installed party loyalists, suspended civil liberties, compromised the courts, imposed Reich governmental control over the country's 17 federated states, slapped draconian tariffs on trading partners, co-opted, imprisoned, or drove political opponents into exile, assumed control over the central bank, and then compelled the Reichstag, the country's legislative body, to pass an enabling act, granting Hitler dictatorial power. Charting the key events of those dramatic days in taut and compelling prose, Timothy Ryback evokes the raw political power and increasing inevitability of Hitler's state capture. Amid heroic efforts by journalists and social democrats to save the Republic, underscoring the observation often attributed to Joseph Goebbels, that, quote, "The big joke on democracy is that it provides its mortal enemies with the means to its own destruction," end quote. So I can say right up front, as soon as this book becomes available, very quick read. It's I'll say a quick read because you want to take your time and make sure that you're understanding the concepts that are being talked about here. He's got a great glossary in here as well. It's about little less than 200 pages. A little bit more when you add the glossary and the notes and such. I highly recommend this book. And there are some black and white pictures in here, but mostly it's just text. So this is great. Ryback's one of my new go-to guys. Whenever I see he's got something new out, I want to read it because Takeover really blew me away. I really enjoyed that. I learned something new about how Hitler rose to power from that book. I mean, he really walks you through it step by step and makes complicated legislative, and mind you, this was a foreign country, so that, it's not like it is a parallel to what happens in America. So you had, he really walks you through the German, the political parties of that time when in the Weimar Republic, the competing camps, and he really takes you step by step in Takeover, which I highly recommend you read that. And this is kind of like its sequel. This is like what happened after Hitler got in. So yeah, he's kind of going, I don't know if he's going to make another book or write another book that kind of follows past these 53 days. But I can tell you right now, between Takeover and then this one, Ryback really has written a very helpful and easily accessible study for people wanting to understand how Hitler came to power and changed history, really. So, all right. So that's September 1st. I thought I'd sneak that in. I might show that again in the September history release video. But for now, I want to get this out to you guys. Let me know as always, I'd like to know which books appeal to you the most and which books you're adding to your TBR. Thanks for joining me on this Friday. Ooh, I just got more thunder. So I'm going to head out right now before lightning strikes. I hope you're having a great day, everybody out there. I hope you're reading. I hope you're reading something good. And I'll talk to you later. Back here at the History Shelf. So long.